Hi, this is Masati from Exponential Intelligence, Human Potential Sciences. So excited to talk to you about Human Reset Altering Carbon. So what is Human Reset Altering Carbon and why is it so fantastic for you? Well, it's the fastest way to transform your life. Okay, 20 days, 20 to 40 minutes a day. Okay? Now you might think that's bullshit, it can't happen. Well, this is the third time that we're doing Human Reset, and it's amazing on some of the testimonials that I'll read to you on how fast somebody can change within the 20 days. Now, I've done this for about 10 years, and I'm going to get into my story in just a bit on, say, the science, my credentials, why you should listen to me, and then we'll get into the details and then how what's in the package on the 21 days and how you can get started. So first of all, we're going to be covering these three things for you. What is Human Reset and why is it so different than anything else you've tried to change your life? Second is why other programs you've tried failed. And then what's in the 20-day program and how you can register to get started on your life. Okay. The first one is what is Human Reset and why is it so different than anything else you've tried in the past to change your life? Well, I'm going to start out with a quote from Nikola Tesla because that sums the basis on what Human Reset or Exponential Intelligence, what I teach to change your life in a nutshell. So this is Nikola Tesla. He said that the day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence. That was Nikola Tesla. Okay? So I'm going to say that again because it really hits home what we do here at Exponential Intelligence. Again, the day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence. So imagine that. So that means that the science behind Human Reset, the science behind exponential intelligence is that realm that Nikola Tesla talks about. Now, there's been other scientists that talk about, say, frequencies, so it's nothing new. This is just the most advanced, say, use of those frequencies. And I'll tell you how I got knowledge on it, and then also how I mastered those frequencies to help transform hundreds of thousands of lives all across the world. So you have, Tesla, you have Einstein, you have Niels Bohr, you have Richard Feynman. Again, all fantastic scientists or physicists, and they always talk about frequencies. At the underlying, say, layer on how this reality is dictated, they talk about the frequencies. So it goes beyond, say, Newtonian physics. So you have Newtonian physics, you have, say, quantum physics, and then I would call it pure physics. Okay? Those are the frequencies that these great gentlemen are talking about. These are the frequencies that I delve in or I work in all the time. Okay? And there's fantastic opportunities when you, say, can see that reality or from that point of view. Okay? So where did I get that point of view? Well, let me just start out with my story, and then you can get an idea, and then we'll get into the details on, say, why whatever that you've tried in the past hasn't worked and how Human Reset Altering Carbon is all about, especially altering carbon. What does that mean? So we'll talk in just in a bit. My story, I had, and briefly you can find out everything about it at Masati. That's MASSAJADY.com. You can read my bio on it, and there's a lot of free stuff on YouTube as well on me and how fast somebody can transform and the details on that. The science behind what I do, you can go to Exponential Intelligence, Exponential with an X. You can find out the science about it. So I had 2 near-death experiences. So the second near-death experience allowed me to see this reality at a very, very different level. Okay? Now, if you can imagine, and I'll give you a couple examples just to clarify for you and just to make it more of a reality. If you can imagine that you're walking at night, right? You're seeing what you can see in the dark, and a lot of times you can't really see in the dark, right? So imagine now wearing night vision goggles. Right? It's a whole new world that world has always been there. We just don't have the capacity or the facility or the faculty to see, in this case, that reality that always exists. Okay? Imagine that dogs, right? Dogs can hear high-pitched voices, sounds much higher than any human can, right? So for humans, does that mean that those sounds don't exist? They exist, right? Because there's proof. Dogs can hear higher pitch frequencies than what the human ear can sense. Your sight, again, going back to your sight, of all the frequencies, of all the light frequencies that there are, our visual perspective is just, say, a tiny piece of the visual spectrum or the light spectrum that we can see. It doesn't mean that nothing else exists beyond our visual spectrum. So what I see or what I analyze or what I sense goes way beyond the senses. Okay? I see the matrix. I see how you're programmed. I see why you're programmed the way you are. And not only see it, but I can help you reprogram or rewire yourself at such a deep level. I hypothesize that I change your DNA. And I say that now, the science that I'm delving into, or that I've mastered over the decades that I've worked on, again, over 100,000 people or maybe more, but 100,000 people one-on-one. Okay? Not just in groups. I mean, there's millions that listen to me, but 100,000 people or more one-on-one. That's a hell of a lot of people to work on over a decade. Nobody has ever done that. Not even, the famous people like Tony Robbins, Joe Dispenza. I mean, they have mass crowds, but not one-on-one experience. So there's a lot of experience behind, say, what I've done. We're gathering a lot of scientific information. In fact, my abilities are being tested by a top-level physicist that is the father of frequencies. So he's testing me out, changing, say, genetic structure or DNA structure, human DNA structure, water structure, with amazing results. So we'll get the tests out on that coming up. So in a nutshell, and then we'll move on to why other products or other, say, programs or whatever else you've done have failed in the past. So in a nutshell, if you can change your frequency, you have to understand what your frequency or what you're resonating at. Okay? So once you understand that, and that's what I do best, whether it's individual or at a group level, you can change it, you can edit it. Okay? You don't have to go through 20 years or 30 years or a lifetime of therapy. In fact, I've helped people in maybe 1 or 2 sessions versus 20, 30 years of therapy through abuse patterns or weight loss or whatever it might be out there, health issues, wealth issues, or that deeper connection. That's how powerful it is, okay? And it's not just hearsay, it's not just random. If you look at the website, masajati.com, you'll see tons of testimonials, amazing testimonials. And I'll share one with you now, actually. Just give me 1 second here. Here's one. Gaining my vision back in a blind eye. People respect me now. I've always had death patterns and could never hold on to anything. And now I know for a fact that nothing is going away. People are nicer to me. I used to get walked all over. My life has changed tremendously. I can't even begin to express myself on this subject. Dean M. So these are, again, actual testimonials, validated testimonials. So if you listen to that testimonial, where do you see that, or how? It's almost like a magical experience, right? And there's many more. And again, these aren't just like handpicked. There's tons and tons and tons on the webpage. So how can you get that much change in such little time? Again, it's by transcending, say, the physicalness of this reality and working at the frequency level. So there's a lot of science behind it. And I just want to go into, well, why other programs, because it'll give you the science behind a human reset, why other programs you failed or you've tried have failed. Okay, so whether it's health, trying to get into shape, whether it's like motivation or wealth management or success patterns, right? Whether it's relationships, whether it is say a higher connection to God or spirit or however you want to call it. It doesn't matter, but why that connection is disconnected for you. So all aspects of your life. Okay? This is what Human Reset is about. All aspects of your life: health, wealth, relationships, that higher connection to yourself, or a higher connection to something grander out there. Again, the definition to me, it doesn't matter. It's important to you though. So bringing that deeper definition in for you, so you can actually say receive the benefits of your faith. And again, as scanning the group, there's a lot of individuals that want that deeper connection. Basically, what you're looking for, by the way, as a side note, you just want to feel human. Okay? Especially in today's world, nobody feels human anymore, right? You slave your ass all day. You can't wait till you retire so you can go have fun. But by the time you retire, you're old. You can't do some of those things that you've always wanted to do, at a younger age. Again, it's a slave nation. That's the matrix that you exist in. You age. Just think, you age like your parents do. You get sick like your parents do. You start looking like your parents do. Why does that happen? It doesn't have to happen. There's tons of people through exponential intelligence that have walked away from that pattern. It's a whole new different consciousness that you can exist in. Okay? And it's there for you. It's provable. It's there for you. People are starting to live that already. So let me get into why some of the programs you've tried failed. Okay? And I'll cover all, say, aspects. Okay? Wealth, relationships, health, patterns. So let's talk about health. Okay? So think of it this way, and I'll give you a few health issues, but this is real life examples. So a client of mine, and I work with a ton of people, they've got a beautiful body, right? Men, women, they've got beautiful bodies, but then they go to the gym. They go to the gym consistently, right? They eat right. They exercise right. But with those individuals, what happens? They age. They get old. They start looking again like their parents do. So, and then they try to work out harder. They try to eat better, but the underlying components or their DNA dictates that their body shape changes at a certain age, or they get older, or they get their mental faculty, say, it degrades. That does not have to happen. And then what happens, unfortunately, is that those individuals, their identity, their self-image, okay, as they degrade, goes down with it, right? And this is where, say, tension builds. This is where they have, say, plastic surgeries. This is where their whole life is based on, say, their identity here, their physical identity. And again, they get anxious, they get distorted, they get confused, because their life is not worth anything anymore, because their value is dictated on, say, the visual beauty of their body. Okay? So on an extreme case, look at all the models, right? Like a level 10, say, beauty, physical form, facial, and they're very insecure, right? They pick on every aspect of their body. Think of it. They need, tinier arms. They need bigger breasts. They need whatever it is that they need. It still isn't good enough. Okay? So the reason why those details happen, the reason why you're not satisfied with, say, that perfect body that you might be working on, or that you've, say, gotten, or that was God given to you, is because of the insecurities, the distortions, and everything else that run from your family's lineage. You've transformed at a physical level, but internally, you're still the same. You're still running the same old patterns. Okay? So with Human Reset, we can reset you at a at a deep level, so we can delete that pattern or edit that pattern for you, and I'll show you how we do that in just a bit. You edit that pattern so your internal values match your external value. Okay? So remember that phrase. Your internal values match your external values. Okay? And I'll give you other situations on how things don't work out well when you do it the other way around. Say that you're overweight. Okay? You're overweight. You go on a diet. Okay? You go on a diet, and then over time, what happens to you? You gain that weight again, right? Because why? Your internal image of yourself, or overweight, getting ill, eating properly, whatever it is, it's a willpower issue, right? You force yourself to be somebody that you're not. So your internal values are running patterns of, well, not just respecting yourself, getting abused, or whatever it might be that you are running internally, right? You don't like your outward self-image because that's all you see, that's all you think it's about. It's like, well, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to do whatever it is. And you do for a bit. And then you go back to your old ways. Why? Because your internal frequencies did not match your external frequencies. So no matter what you do, in time, you always settle, or you always come back to neutral. You always come back to your internal frequencies. That's why you have those yo-yo effects. That's why it takes massive willpower for addictions, to overcome food cravings, to eat properly. What we do at Human Reset, just as a note, is that your internal reflection changes to a grander version of who you are. Okay? So what is that grander version? Well, as Yoda put it from Star Wars, right? The force within, the grander version of who you could be. To put it another way, and I'm sure many of you have gotten this way, is that especially if you failed, by the way, I've had a ton of failures that I've learned from. That's the key. Successful individuals have a ton of failures, much more than, say, the average person. But what they do is they turn those failures into successes, and that's a success mechanism that we help you integrate as well. But what was I going to say? Sorry about that, guys. So the key is that your internal mechanisms change. So it takes a lot of willpower to transform your life and keep it at a level if your internal self is not there. So what Human Reset does is changes your internal level. It gets rid of, say, the abuse patterns, the distortions, and all those things that keep you at a low level frequency, keep you in lack, whatever lack might be. Right? Ill health, bad relationships, wealth patterns, whatever it might be. That higher connection to whatever it might be for you. You change your internal values, your external value changes. Right? And so another wealth pattern, for example, this is what many people use, and this is what that slave nation is about, is that when you're young, or you have a lot of problems, young teenage years, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever it might be. If I make X amount of money, I'm going to be happy. My life is happy. I'm going to be happy. Does that make sense to you? Now, think of everybody that says that. Just think of everybody that said that. Think of yourself if you're successful. And then think of all those people that aren't happy, maybe including you. Okay? I work on millionaires, I work on billionaires. They have the same damn problems as the masses. I'm not saying that you shouldn't make the money. It's like, see, money doesn't buy you happiness. I'm not saying that, because money can buy you happiness, but in a very different way. Hey, that's a whole different subject. That's a whole different topic. But what I'm trying to point out is that those individuals who, say, make success or have success, they still have their internal values, okay? The lack of self-worth. Okay? And I'll give you just a pinpointed example on, say, lack of self-worth. Okay? Say that you get bullied around. Right? You get bullied around when you're young. And then you get so angry, you get so mad, and then you go, fuck, I'm going to show the world, I'm going to be so damn successful that I'm going to show everybody. So that was used as a carrot, become successful, and then that stick, right? And they do. They have, they have a fantastic success. And what happens to them? They can't get away from the bulliness. They can't get away from that abuse. So what happens is as they ascend higher and as they claim, say, their stake in wealth, they still get abused. They still get abused by their wealth. So they need more and more and more control. And this is where they get really, really abusive. Look at some of the leaders here in today's world. How many leaders do you know get in that pattern? Right? So they're not internally happy. They still have divorces. They still have addictive patterns. In fact, a lot of them turn into, say, deep addictive patterns, even if they didn't have it, because they didn't have the internal frequencies stable enough to hold on to that pattern. Say, other simple examples for you is, and you can look it up statistically, is that when people win massive amounts of money on the lottery, right? They win millions of dollars. Within, say, 6 months to a year, they're back or worse off than they were before. Why? Their internal values, their internal frequencies, okay? Not what their beliefs are, because that's totally something different. We got to go way, way deep. Okay? So it doesn't matter about your beliefs, because that's cognitive. We're talking about your frequencies that actually create you here in space-time. Okay? Now, it sounds kind of matrixy again, because it is. You have to go beyond this physicalness. It's not beliefs. It's not self-improvement. It's not psychology. It's not hypnosis. It's not getting you into a state, like a rah-rah state. Like I'm sure you've been into some of those events, right? They psych you up for a day, and it lasts for a couple days, and then it's like, fuck, what happened? Right? You've lost that motivation, because that motivation was an external value, not an internal value. That motivation was willpower. Right? Most people say, again, accumulate wealth, accumulate a relationship, get healthier from a willpower issue. It never lasts, and it never makes you feel complete. So again, giving back to examples, people who become millionaires over a lottery, 6 months to a year, what happens? They lose it. Other situations, and I'll give you why, the main reason why on all those aspects, okay? Relationships, health, money, relationship patterns, okay? How many times have you, say, broken up from a relationship to find yourself with another person with the same damn problem that you had in the past? Say an abusive relationship, right? Or say somebody that you can't trust, or they cheat on you, right? Time and time and time again. Why does that happen? Because there's a program running in you that dictates that you get cheated on. There's a program that dictates that you have an abusive relationship. In fact, there's scientific studies that it was speed dating. One woman with abusive patterns, speed dated like 50 men. Okay? They just interviewed 50 men. One man was a known abuser. What did that woman do? Okay? Not just one woman. It was a series of women with abusive patterns. Who did they get attracted to? Outside of their individual's wealth, outside of what they look like, outside of anything else, they got attracted to that one person out of 50 that would abuse them. So why does that happen? And again, I can tell you tons and tons and tons of stories, but they all lead to the same thing. You change your frequency, you change your internal value structure. And again, this is different than beliefs. This is different than attitudes. This is different than, say, changing your emotions or controlling your emotions. That's all really nice, but it's frilly willy type. This is surface level stuff. Okay? I'm talking about the base core of why you are the way you are, removing that. Okay? So those are all the reasons why, no matter what you've tried in the past, haven't worked out. So let's just look at the logistics on why. Okay, most of the things that you operate on, okay, most of your life experiences aren't even yours. They're not even yours. Okay, and let me explain. You've got over 90%. Again, working on 100,000 people or more, about over 90% of your value structure, the way you see life, the way you look at relationships and everything else, you inherited from your parents. Your parents inherited from their parents, and so on and so on and so on. Okay? Humans don't evolve. And again, humans don't evolve. That's the main issue. Okay? I mean, look at your parents. Look at how your parents age compared to your grandparents. Okay? Look at how you're aging. Are you still having the same diseases, the same issues, right? The same backache, the same, I don't know, joint issues, pain and all that. You know, if we were in the animal kingdom, okay, and say the lions, right? You have the lions, for some reason, you know, heart issues came into the lion species. Within 1 or 2 generations, the heart issues would disappear. Straight out. There'd be no more heart issues. Can you say that about human conditioning? Can you say that about human evolution? Can't happen. How many generations back does your heart issues conditions go? How many generations back does your abuse patterns go? There's this woman that I, you know, analyzed, and again, I don't need to know anything about you. I don't need to know your name, your picture, or anything like that. And I do this on Moss on Sundays, so I invite you to take a look at Moss on Sundays. It's a free show that you can look at on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So, and again, it's on my website, mossajati.com, or if you go to totalhumanreset.com, you can find out more about it. But they say, hey, Moss, scan me. And I analyze them. That's all I know. That's all I know about them. They can use a fake name, you know, another no image, whatever. I analyze them. So this woman, you know, I tap into her. It's like, oh, wow, you've had, say, a few abortions, right? It's kind of embarrassing. But she goes, yeah, I've had a few abortions. So, and very, very hurt, very embarrassed by it. But then I tap into her mother. It's like, well, hey, you know, your mother's had a few abortions, right? And your aunt and your grandma and whoever else, right? And she goes, yeah. So again, do you see what goes down, what you've inherited? Okay, exponential intelligence with human reset, especially altering carbon, that disconnects you from all the stuff that you've inherited from your family patterns. So one more example, just to give you, say, the science behind it, or say the basis of the science behind it, and then we'll move on, say, what you can do on the human reset and what you can achieve. Okay, so I'll just make it very simple. Okay, so say you have your smartphone, right? You have your smartphone, and there's an app. Now, in your frequencies, I call it your personal frequency signature, in your frequencies or in your phone, okay, or in your body, in this case, there are apps for everything, okay? Or basically your DNA, right? There's an app for your hair color. There's an app for your eye color. There's an app for how if your hair is curly or if your hair is straight or if your hair is oily. Again, there's an app within an app that dictates on how everything happens to you. In fact, people can duplicate, right? Clone you. They've cloned sheep. That's how they do it, with the exact same markings. Again, they clone their DNA. Not only is it just your physical patterns, not only do you inherit within your DNA the physical symptoms, you know, heart disease and all that stuff, you inherit other patterns, wealth patterns, relationship patterns, so on like that. So there's an app for it. So you have a phone, right? Again, the operating system. Whether it's Android or it's an Apple, that's your base operating system. It dictates how you operate or how you see your life. So you have an app. Let's say the app is abuse. There's an app that's running in your system that creates abuse. So Or there's an app in your system that, you just can't lose weight, or you can't get healthy, or you're always sick. Okay? Or there's an app that says that you make money and then you lose it all. Whatever it might be, there's an app in your system that does that. So what you do, okay, and what most people do is, well, I'll just get another app that says, I want to create success. Again, motivational techniques, self-improvement techniques, hypnosis, psychology, belief systems, and all that. Another app that you put on your phone that says, hey, success mechanisms. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way because the other app is still running. Okay? You might go, well, I'm very different than, say, my parents. I'm very different. They're poor. I'm wealthy. But look at the end result. Look at the end result of your life. Most likely, say if your parents were poor and abusive, you're wealthy and abusive. Straight out. It's the end result. It's nothing of physicalness about that. Okay? It's nothing about the physical representation. Your parents were, say, really religious. You're the opposite. You're spiritual or you're atheist. Again, total opposite. Look at the end result. The end result is the frequencies that you're generating. The end result, again, your operating system, or say the type of phone, the operating system of your body dictates that you operate in a certain way. What Human Reset does is edits that. It changes you into, say, a software upgrade, a virus cleaner that gets rid of all the shit that you don't want, that gets rid of all the stuff that if humans did evolve properly would have gotten rid of. Unfortunately, again, humans don't evolve, they devolve. Okay? So those are all the aspects on why stuff hasn't worked out. Okay? So what does Human Reset do? Well, through group settings, and a series of physical exercise, dieting, and so on like that, because you need both. It's not just frequencies, but you change the frequencies at an underlying level, then what you do at the surface level for physicalness dramatically, say, transforms. Okay? So Human Reset is a set of 18-day, actually it's 20 days, sorry about that. So this is what's in the 20-day program. Okay, and why we call it altering carbon. So let me just get into why we call it altering carbon. So over the years, over the decades, I used to work, again, help people rewire themselves for whatever it might be. It used to take me about an hour and a half to work on one individual. And over the years, I dropped it down to, say, 10 minutes or 15, 20 minutes or so. Nowadays, I can help transform individuals or initiate that individual to shift in about 5 minutes or less. And I know it sounds crazy, but if you talk to those individuals that I've worked on, again, not just a few, there's masses, there's tons of people, they go, whoa, that's the fastest transformation ever. So I've gotten to the point, and this is why we call it altering carbon. Okay, and this is what it really excites me, because in the past it was all about fixing people. It was always about remedying people. That's what this world is about, isn't it? We find a solution for cancer, but why not have, say, why not evolve into a higher consciousness where, say, cancers and disease and old age and all that stuff don't exist? That's what Human Reset is about. That's called altering carbon. Okay? So genetically, or your DNA is based on time and space. Again, carbon-based molecules that dictate your presence here. It's a blueprint of your life. Okay? What Human Reset does is that you start to transcend into a higher consciousness of who you are. So you're at a low-level frequency. Again, it's all about frequencies. You're at a low-level frequency. You transcend higher and higher and higher and higher to a frequency that you're less bound in time and space. So what are the benefits of it? Well, you're more dynamic. You learn from experiences of the past and grow and expand even more. You start getting success mechanisms. You start gravitating to those foods or diet plans, or you don't need diet plans, but foods and exercise or whatever else to benefit you. You see the grander version of you. You start living life to its, say, fullest. You start to see, say, the succulence of life. That's what that means to you. You literally, and in the near future, we're trying to get some DNA tests on people who've transformed so magically. And I just want to show you a picture of actually me, what I was when I started in 2010, and this was 2016. So just a couple of years ago, I actually look younger, and this image hasn't been doctored at all. That was the 2010 picture, and now a 2016 picture. Okay. Again, it hasn't been doctored. So it's not just me. Tons of people get those types of results. Okay? This is why it's called altering carbon, because we're changing your DNA structure. We're changing how your cell structure, your body structure, your identity feels. Okay? You don't have to, say, age like society. You don't have to age the way human consciousness normally ages. You don't have to age like a 70-year-old. You don't have to look, you don't have to have the diseases or anything like that. You can change your consciousness, or you change your frequency, and in that consciousness, people age differently. People stay youthful. People stay vibrant. I'm close to 60 years old, by the way. Okay, I'm the healthiest, obviously the wealthiest. You know, a fantastic relationship with, you know, all around. It doesn't matter, and I'm more vibrant than ever. Skin tone, right? I certainly don't look like a 60-year-old. Most people think of me as my early 40s. So, and again, there's tons of people that are getting these types of benefits. So what's in the package? What's in the package? What's in the 20-day program? And what's different than, say, previous Human Reset programs? Well, the difference between the previous Human Reset programs, again, is my abilities. Okay? Especially over the past few months, you know, since this Corona thing, again, it's not just random coincidence. It's consciousness changing to a higher level. Okay? We cannot stay the same. This coronavirus, it's a fantastic opportunity for you to transform your life. You know, in times of disillusionment, in times of chaos, if you look throughout history, this is where, say, the grandest, say, technological advances, the best inventions have come about. This is where most of the successful individuals or most of the millionaires have been made. So which side are you going to be on? Are you going to be going down, you know, and being crushed by the waves that come through? Or are you going to surf on top and enjoy what's to come? It's your choice. Again, it's a fantastic opportunity. So the difference is between, again, the old Human Reset programs and this, the frequencies are much more powerful. And I just want to urge you that people change in a very short period of time, usually within the first day of the program. I guarantee it. Okay? And it's very intense. So in about 20 days, you're going to change massively. Okay? So that change for somebody, again, might take like 20, 40 years, maybe longer, maybe never for people. You're going to do it in 18 days. Okay? Obviously, you're going to change at a high level frequency, and then emotional states, and then conscious, cognitive, and then you'll start to see the physical changes happen too. Okay? So it's the frequencies, it's the new technologies as I've risen to higher consciousness, new ways of, say, looking younger. And you know, I did a event on that, on the crystalline. It was called the crystalline event. So new technologies, amazing breakthroughs on that. Again, people, this is like, it's called I would call it a frequency spa. You know, you don't have to, and that's another thing as well. People who, you know, who go to the spa for youthful age and all that, people who do the frequency work with me, whatever they do lasts like 2 or 3 times longer than in the past. So again, valid proof that this works. So, higher frequencies, better. The differences, again, higher frequencies for me, different technologies that I'll use to help you enhance yourself, enhance your abilities. By the way, I teach this stuff. It's not just you come to me, I help you resonate at that frequency so you know how to do it on your own. Okay, so you get the power. Whole different exercise plan for all levels of individuals. Whether you're a top seasoned athlete, how do you push beyond? How do you get into the zone? How do you stay consistent? How do you recover faster? Right? How do you push more out of that, say, consciousness? Right? You've reached your peak at a physical level, but it's the brain that controls you. So for those individuals, human reset would be advantageous for you. For those individuals who are always sick, those individuals, right? Why are you always sick? Getting a different mindset for that. For those individuals, again, so let's just call it lack, because I don't have time to go through everything. I talked about that. But for those individuals who practice lack, whether it's physical, wealth, relationships, whatever, getting rid of those older patterns and helping you instill the newer patterns, the more abundant patterns that you naturally are. Again, the grander version of who you are, or that force within, right, that you should exist out of. Again, being human. We have a fantastic meal plan set up for you. I'm not going to get into all the details. You can go to totalhumanreset.com to get into the details, what it all consists of. But it's the most powerful frequencies. So there's two things that I want to cover, again, not get into the details, is that, one, you meditate with me. And it's not a meditation, but it's the closest, say, label that you can understand. Okay? It goes way beyond meditation. Okay? You can literally feel, and most of you are probably feeling the frequencies as I'm speaking to you. That's how powerful it is. So it's a set of either once a day or twice a day. You meditate with me for either 20 to 40 minutes. Okay? It varies depending on the days. And we cover, again, the first phase of it, days 1 through 8, is reclaiming your power. Okay? Again, living or honoring that internal, say, grandness that you have, the force within. Okay? Bringing that out of you. Okay? So those are the 8 days, helping you understand that you are deserving your self-worth, reclaiming your power, you reclaiming your powers, you reclaiming your identity. All those are within the 8 days. Day 2, building a dynamic foundation. So what that means is starting to run from your higher version of yourself. Right? Like the phone example, basically going through, looking at the apps that are, say, beneficial for you, and then deleting the apps that aren't. So again, deleting those old programs that happened like centuries ago in your family that you're running. Could you imagine running Windows back in the day, 3.0? It was advanced then, but now, it's a dinosaur. Look at all the programs that you're running from your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfathers or grandmothers. You're still running that program, my friend. It's time to update, right? So creating a strong foundation, a dynamic foundation that's not based as heavily in time and space. Not based in this consciousness or this depth of consciousness. It's at a higher, more dynamic frequencies. Okay? So you roll with what's going on in the world, so you always strengthen. So that's days stage 2. Stage 3 is singularity. So becoming the power within. So you operate that power within. And there's always a distinction, right? So that power within is always separate from you. Right? You know that there's a grandness in you, but it's separate from you. You know that you are you, or if you want to get into that spiritual jargon, right? It's you, your spirit. It's you, it's your higher self. It's you, I call it your pure presence or your frequencies. It's integrating. So you start to become an I am state. That's really the key, guys. You want to become that I am state. Right? This is where you integrate. This is where you feel human. This is what your purpose in life is really about. Actually coming into a reality that's so powerful when you can connect and combine who you are. That's all you've ever wanted. That's all you've ever wanted in relationships, in health, in money, is that understanding that you are one. Okay? Human Resets will help you with that in stage 3. So there's more details on the meal plans. There's more details on the Q&A sessions, live Q&A sessions where I'll analyze, not all of you, because there's a ton of people signing up already, but just to give you examples on why your life is the way it is, we'll do live analysis on those on a few lucky individuals. So take a look at that. Again, it's all on totalhumanreset.com. Is there a prerequisite? Okay. Yes. totalhumanreset.com. Okay. We just don't want anybody. This isn't a sales pitch. We want those individuals that want the best out of their life. And now I'm not just saying that because of a sales pitch. It's the hardest thing that you'll ever do. Okay? I don't care if you've been successful in the past. Again, people who've been millionaires and billionaires, they go through the process and they totally get destroyed. I'm not saying this to scare you. Okay? But it's very different than conventional success. This is that internal success. This is about finding who you are. Okay? There's tons of millionaires and billionaires, and again, like I said, they're not happy. It's a lot easier becoming a millionaire and billionaire than knowing who you are or facing the weaknesses of who you are and then deleting them. Okay? That's why I say it's tough. But for those people who've gone through it, it's the most rewarding experience that you'll ever have. Most importantly, they get the abundance that they need. It's a spherical abundance. All aspects of their life become, say, fruitful and beneficial. Not just their wealth, not just their bank accounts, but every aspect of their life. They don't have to age like their parents. They stay that youthfulness. They don't have to, say, die to become successful. Because that's what most people do. They sacrifice something to get a better version of something else, right? It's like, I sacrificed myself for love. I sacrificed myself for my kids. I sacrificed myself for money. I sacrificed myself for a God, right? This isn't about sacrifice, by the way. It's about being your grandest self. There's no sacrifice in that, okay? You do have to work your ass off. So for those individuals who can face their weaknesses, for those individuals who aren't going to go, well, it's because of the economy. It's because my parents did this to me. It's because of this. And you can say that. And then if you have, say, the balls or the strength to walk away from it, then those are the kind of individuals that I need. Okay? I don't want any whiners. Okay? Because again, it just slows down. You can always come back when you're stronger. No big deal. You know, we're here. That's fine. But again, I want those individuals who want to really transform their life and have the guts to go, yup, this is my life, this is my time now, and I'm going to go down deep into the darkness of my being and pull whatever garbage out that's holding me back to go forward. And again, that's the very hard thing to do for many individuals, especially if you have a lot of pride or ego. Okay? But if you're the one, I'm here for you. Okay? It's me, my son Alex. I do the frequency work. I'm not, say, that frequency surgeon or frequency programmer that'll help you redesign your life. Alex and a few other people in the background, dieting plans, exercise plans, and you'll get, again, every day, step-by-step programs on what to do. And it doesn't take all day. Again, 20 to 40 minutes a day. Here's another, as we end, I'll read you some sample transformations. The body feels totally new. All cells at a deep level have been reset. I can feel everything operating at an extremely high level of efficiency. Imagine if you operated it that way. For those that are gung-ho and have the burning desire to fully embody their highest and purest potential, physical form, I highly, highly recommend a deep cleanse and reset such as this. Thanks, Aaron. And again, I could read more and more testimonials for you. I feel so unbelievable. clean today like never before. I know that I'm free now. I know that I'm my own person, and this is my own life. Okay? Again, there's tons and tons of testimonials on the website. As I end, I just want you to think, guys, there's 100 days left in the year. Thank God for that, huh? 2020 has been really tough. However, those who've been with me, with Exponential Intelligence, like I said, the toughest times really push a man to understand, push a person, not just a man, push that individual to such a deep level to go, shit, I got to do something. And again, they reclaim their life. So that's what we've used. So although there's been chaos all around the world, people who do exponential intelligence, they're telling me it's the most fantastic time because they're riding that wave to success. So you've got 100 days to go for this year, okay? And setting your goals on the New Year's, that's the worst time to set your goals, and that's why most goals fail. Okay, this is the fall season. You time yourself with fall, right? Everything falls apart in fall. Leaves fall apart. It's a time to let go, and that's why we've set it in fall. It allows you to cycle yourself with the natural rhythm that's around you all the time. So you're going to use the power. We're going to use every available opportunity to help you transform your life, including nature's patterns. Okay? It's been proven successful for billions of years. So it's one of the best patterns. So we're going to use the nature's patterns. We're going to use the fall season to let go of that shit that's not worth keeping anymore. Okay? And then throughout the days, we get better and better throughout. So by the time you hit 2021, you're raring to go. Okay? That's all I've got. Guys, I think that's it. Yeah. So I think I covered it all. If you have any questions, you can always contact us at if you just go to totalhumanreset.com, totalhumanreset.com, there's details on the program, there's details on what you do, there's a schedule on there on what you can do. Plus, if you sign up, you will get, say, 4 free reports on the deeper details on relationships, success, health challenges, issues, why you have them, and also that deeper connection. Okay, those are all free for you, worth over, well over $200-300 for you. So, again, good luck to you. Hope to see you on Human Reset, and if we don't, that's fine too. That's fantastic. Again, always good luck to you. Take care. Notice what you notice, and then notice the details of what you're noticing. Peace.